Welcome to the podcast, Monsters. I'm your host, Doug Bartlett, a serial entrepreneur, founder and owner of Bartlett Roofing. If you have a mind for business or you want to grow, we are the podcast for you. Welcome to the podcast, Monsters. I am here today with Roman Burlo. You've met Roman before in previous podcasts. He's our VP of Sales.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Roman. And we are also here today with Adam Rogers. Adam is our number one company-wide salesperson of the year for Bartlett Roofing. Wow. And today we are here, not only company-wide for the year, but he also set an all-time record for a year of sales. And we're here to gain some wisdom from Adam and, give you something that you can take to the bank out there when you're out there making money. So, and this doesn't just apply to door-to-door sales. This is something that you can take some of these things and just figure out where they fit in the job or business that you're in, and how to apply it, because I know there's going to be nuggets that anybody could use. So, Adam, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. I'm a native Boise guy. I'm born and raised here. Went to Garfield, East, Boise High, and BSU. Went there too.
And again,
right. And no,
I told you my mic is sensitive.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to touch it.
Yeah, you gotta be really careful. Don't even look at it.
Okay, I won't. No.
Now I can't help. I want to look at it.
Now I can't help it.
Now I'm trying to be like a mentalist and trying to make it move with my mind.
You guys, I don't know what you guys learned at Garfield and at BSU.
You went to Garfield?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. But BSU,
Idaho native guy, right?
Right.
BSU, that's where they put BS before you.
Hey, I don't know. I just love it. It was a great school. Fantastic.
Just kick this guy out of the
room. Go Broncos.
Anyway, no, I grew up here, loved it, loved this town, had a lot of fun, spent a lot of time in the Boise River growing up, snorkeling and fishing and just having a good time. And I'm the youngest of 7. So
wow.
Yeah. My dad he's old school. He was in World War II.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that made a difference. I think he had those guys are a different breed.
Right.
Those older dudes. I love those guys when I meet those guys. But
you don't meet very many of them anymore.
Not really.
They're mostly dead, right?
Right. Yeah.
You're a baby boomer.
Am I really?
After World War II? Isn't that the baby boomer generation after World War II? Or was that after World War I?
He was 45 when I was born, so I'm not exactly a baby boomer.
Yeah,
better late than never. It's still
he's like an echo of a baby boomer. Yeah. Like boom.
I was born in 1970, so
didn't stop.
I think the same as you. You were in 70 or
69. Yeah.
So anyway, great family, 5 boys, 2 girls. Everybody works hard and did your part. Nobody got away with being lazy. That didn't happen.
Not back then. No.
I had brothers too. They would keep you in check.
You guys probably lived in the mansion too, right?
We had a really cool old house. It's actually it was 100 years old when I was born.
What?
Yeah, this house is awesome. And we still have it, the family. It's kind of an old beat up house now, but because we took
1870s.
Yeah, it was an old house. It had ghosts. I could tell you some funny stories. I kid you not.
Ghosts.
They were good ghosts. They didn't hurt us. They were all happy ghosts, like Casper maybe.
I lived in a house out in Marsing that had a ghost in it. For real.
Yeah. I have a couple of fun ghost stories, but yeah.
Maybe a different campfire talk.
Different talk, yeah.
Yeah.
We could talk about it. It is really fun when you were there all by yourself. That's all I'm saying. But no, anyway, so yeah, I did that. And then I grew up LDS. So I went on an LDS mission to California. Loved it. It was fantastic. California. Yeah. It was great. I worked with people from every corner of the globe.
So wait, which state were you living in before California then? Before you went on a trip? From Idaho to California.
Mm-hmm. For his mission.
Man, nobody lived in Idaho at that time. and then you went to California for a mission.
Well,
San Fernando Valley, right? Boom. Well, actually, I first started in Oildale, which is like a really little funky oil town, right? But it's right outside the valley. Then I went down to the valley and was all over there. Went Cambria, Cayucas, Morro Bay, all over the place. It was really awesome. I loved it. It was fantastic.
Man, that would have been so different.
And I really think it had a big part to play in who I am and how I deal with people and how I deal with rejection and how I deal, because you know what I mean? If you can go out and talk to people and sell religion, you can sell anything. Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, and I got to where, you know, when I believe in something and I'm talking about it, I don't care if you don't like it or not. I mean, if you don't want to hear it, I'm not going to push it on you. But same thing with roofing. If this is something I believe in, and it is, because this is a really valuable service, I don't feel like I'm soliciting anything. I feel like I'm offering an opportunity to people.
It's almost like you don't even want to call it roofing. I'm not in roofing.
Well, I just love what I do. And I think it's a huge value to people because roofs are expensive and that's not an easy thing to just pull out of your pocket. So it provides a huge service to people. Even people, it's funny, it seems like the people with the most money are the cheapest. They're the ones who are like, no upgrades, $500 deductible. Can you give me a break on that? You know what I mean? Right? Like, really? Come on.
There's a reason they have the most money.
Right. So, but that had a big part of who I am, I think, you know, and it made a big difference in just my ability to dig in and move forward, regardless of how my day is. How my day is going has nothing to do with my job. That is part of what you just have to deal with that as you go. You have good days and bad days. Some days you don't feel good. Some days you feel great.
Did you always have that?
Oh, yeah.
Did you always have that attitude?
No, I mean, like I said, the mission really helped.
The mission helped you develop that kind of attitude.
Absolutely. Definitely.
And then that translate into your work life?
Yeah, just who I am, you know.
Okay.
And also, when I was younger, my dad took a job up in Alaska, and we would go up in the summer times, and we would work. And I had some gnarly jobs working in the fish processing stuff. I mean, 18-hour shifts of sliming fish and unloading boats.
Oh, man.
Brutal, cold, slimy, covered in blood, nasty stink. 18 hours, you got to do it. You're not going to quit because there's boats lined up down there with fish in them, and you can't not do it.
You just work and sleep pretty much.
You just go. And then you go home and you sleep.
Yeah.
You close your eyes and you can see mosquitoes. I'm serious. Have you ever been in that many mosquitoes where when you close your eyes, you can see them? They're just buzzing everywhere. It's awesome.
No, thanks. Closest I ever had to that was in boot camp, Air Force boot camp. They took us down to the pit, and it was like this spot on base that was like intentionally curated for mosquitoes. Like, that's all I can describe it. Literally, it was like a little swamp, and I think they fed it with water to like keep the mosquito population alive. And you had to go down there one day for lunch just so you'd be in this crappy, muddy swamp and eat lunch there out of an MRE that was cold.
Yeah.
And so, literally you walk out there, and even though you're covered from your wrist to, you know, the only thing exposed is your neck, your face, and your hands. Just in that area, everybody that walked out of there had 10 mosquito bites.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure they probably don't do that now because we got a bunch of snowflakes.
That,
but yeah, that was the deal. You'd literally have two. You know, I mean, even though you're sitting there slapping them, you think you got them, you still end up with 4 or 5 mosquito bites just on your hands.
There was a fish and game officer who told us a story where he actually found a moose that had been insanguinated. I think is the word. Totally
exsanguinated.
Died because of loss of blood.
Wow.
A moose, and that's not easy skin to get through.
Wow.
That's a lot of mosquitoes.
That's a lot of mosquitoes.
No kidding, right?
You know, I lived in Anchorage actually for one summer, and you know, that was the joke up there is, what's the state bird of Alaska? The mosquito.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't think it'd be the bad. I thought Florida would be the state bird.
No, they got giant ass mosquitoes up there too. They're like 3 times the size of the ones we have here.
They're giant.
Jeez.
They got harpoons.
Yeah.
It's like a horror
They'll
story
go through
over
your
there.
clothes and stuff. Oh yeah.
I don't know if I want to go to Alaska.
No, you do. It's awesome.
I don't know.
You just got to stay in the middle of the river. You get on the side, you can't breathe because there's too many mosquitoes. So
Sounds amazing.
You got to learn how to go potty.
We should all
boat.
Go.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
It's good. So I don't know. Okay, so there I did that, and then I came home and, you know, just was a young adult or whatever for a couple of years, and I met my wife, and we got married, and it's been together ever since. We're still best friends. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And then I started in school, and I was still in school, you know, and just got working and had a baby and moved to Utah for a while and worked up there. Just was doing home health and hospice care and caring for terminally ill people. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed that a lot. It was really rewarding to help people go through that dying process, because that's a big part of life, is the dying part, right?
Yeah.
People don't think about that, but it's you can live a great life. And then if you go out hard and gross, I mean, that's no good. You want to go out, you got to go out as best you can. You know, everybody's going out.
One thing in your story here that's coming out, and I think probably really helps you in sales, is that every piece that you've told us as far as what you do for work, in some way you're helping people. Even the fish with the guts and the blood story, you're sitting there saying, I've got to put in my 18 hours because there's boats lined up. Yeah, right? It wasn't about like how much money you were making.
Yeah, right.
But it was like, man, I got to stick it out because these people are waiting and they need help.
Yeah, they've been in that boat parked along the barge for longer than I have, probably.
And I think that's one of the keys that, that it makes somebody really good at sales is if you're selling something that you believe in and you can help somebody. Like that's a freaking game changer.
Absolutely.
If you can get into that space, because people sense your conviction and they understand like this person believes in it and I can believe in their belief because I can sense that.
It shows through.
And there's trust that happens there to where all of a sudden your belief translates to trust, translates to sales. So huge deal. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's really accurate. I feel like that is something that I think about, and because when you really do want to help somebody, the conversation's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're also like not afraid to be more persistent.
Yeah. It's important.
Because you feel like they're missing it, that you really are trying to help them and they sense conviction there as well.
I've said that to people at the door. I'm like, hold on a minute. Let me ask you a question. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you do, I think you'd want to hear more, because this is not, I think you're misconstruing this. Listen to me for a second. Let me ask you another question. And then you just probe and ask them questions. Mm-hmm. Has somebody helped you? Has somebody tried to help you? Whoa, help me with what? They haven't heard yet. They've been bombarded by people bugging them about knocking on the door.
Offering free inspections.
Yeah.
They've had people try to sell them, but they haven't had people try to help them. And that's
right.
A different
Has somebody
approach.
ever tried to help you?
Yeah. Is that actually something you say when you go to the door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you bet.
Well, it's weird that you have to say it though in our industry, because our industry is really, really unique in what we do, right? Because we go after people for storm damage. And one statistic for storm damage is that less than 6% of the people actually file a claim for storm damage in a year. So most people would never even file one in their entire life. And so it's no wonder they don't know anything about it, and nobody's told them anything about it, because nothing will probably ever happen. There's no reason for them to educate themselves like that.
I don't know what the stat is on the people who actually do file that just get flat out told no, and then they just leave and walk away, and they don't even try anything else because the adjuster just said no. Oh, okay. Because a lot of people say, yeah, we talked to our insurance company and the agent said no. I'm like, well, agents do that.
There's a few different ways because a no requires a lot more documentation in our industry, but a soft no, which is basically a repair, it's a pay for repair, which is technically not even a no in their books. It's a yes. Did you know that? Mm. So
sure, a repair, yeah.
Oh yeah, if they pay anything, right, it's a payout.
Yep.
But a no is a zero payout.
Right. Well, people will get they don't even have anybody come out it just goes right to the first phone call. Oh, I got this and that. Oh no, your roof's too old. No, we're not doing it. Yeah. And they just walk away. People don't even push past that, a lot of it.
No, right. A lot of people
And
don't.
age has nothing to do with it. It's just based on storm damage.
Exactly.
If your insurance company is choosing to take your money no matter what your roof age is, then they're also choosing to take on that risk.
Yeah, unless they wrote some kind of disclaimer in, but that's something they have to go talk with their agent or whoever handles their policy.
Right.
To see if it's qualified.
That's few.
Yep. Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about, what do you feel like it takes to be a top salesperson? And let's start with your mindset.
Okay.
What's the mindset all about? What do you tackle every day like? What are your goals? What's your head space like? And we talked already about the fact that you're helping people, right? But what else is in your brain when you're going out and you're saying every day I'm going to go do this again and again and again and again and again? Because you do this hundreds of times in a year.
First of all, once I've made a decision, I'm doing something, I don't have to think about it every day. It's not a decision I'm going to make again tomorrow. I've already made the decision that this is how I'm going to do what I do, and I want to do it every day, and I love what I do. And I kid you not, some days I don't feel good, and I go and get on a roof, and I feel better. I'm not kidding. I don't know what it is. It's maybe the air or just being up there or the adrenaline or something, but I just feel better.
And I found that that's true actually in my life too. If I'm like not feeling good and I just like say, screw it, I'm just going to go tackle my day anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That tends to like kind of go away. Like you know, if you sit around and you like nurse it, it's, you know, kind of like that guy we were talking earlier in the day today about, you know, that he was kind of nursing his depression and that caused it to get worse and worse and worse.
Indulging that negativity.
Yeah. And if you stop indulging how you might not be feeling good, you just go out there and you get after it, then your body can adapt.
That was just never an option for me when I was growing up. My family, if you didn't feel good, you needed to be crapping your pants or throwing up or something. I don't feel good doesn't work.
I think there's a difference between like not feeling good and actually being sick.
Oh
right?
yeah, no, you can be sick. If you're not actively wrecked, it's too bad. You get busy and do something.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the way I grew up. And so I don't know. I've never.
You do what you have to do.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Finish your day.
Right. And I told my wife, I've talked to her about this a bunch of times. It's like, I'll get out of bed and I just feel like total hammered crap, right? And I'm like, why? How are these people just take days off because they're sick? I just never feel like that's an option. I don't do that. And I mean, if I'm really sick, like toxic, then I won't go.
Sure.
You don't want to mess people up or whatever. But I've just never. That's just never been my mindset of just wimping out.
Yeah.
So
tell me more about your mindset. Like it's not, you don't wimp out. You just go out there and you're going to get
sure.
it. Is there something that you like strive for? Like, do you have goals that you're trying to hit, or is it just like you've just decided this is a good path that provides well for my family, so this is just what I'm going to do every day? Where is that mindset, and how do you get to that place?
I don't know how to really explain I just think about doing my job every day and making steady forward motion and just doing it every day. And sometimes some days are really great and you kill it. Other days you don't, and it comes together. And so I've gotten that in my head. Every single day I can go out. I don't expect to make everything work out perfect, but I do expect to do what I need to do every day. I do expect to talk to people. I do want to stop. If I see a bad door or a roof, I will stop. And I do that. So I just do the same thing and a little bit every day. And then I figured out basically the gear and the speed in which I got to do that. And it turns into about 5 deals a week, about 20 deals a month. And it just 10 to 15 deals into production. And it works that way, right? If I want to, I can speed it up. And I've had weeks where I'll do 16 deals in a week, or, have 3 hat tricks I did 3 hat tricks in a week one time. That was pretty cool, but it just kind of fell, cause after you work a bunch and all of a sudden, sometimes things just fall into place.
Right.
It's for some reason, like, and me knowing and seeing Adam around and seeing what he does, you have a personality to where you commit to a work, whatever it is, and you go and you complete the job. And you seem to not want to stop or quit until that job is done. And it's not like, it's not an accident that you did 25 contracts. You told us you were going to do 25 contracts.
Yeah. And if I tell you I'm going to do something, I really want to do it, because I hate telling somebody I'm going to do something and not following through.
And that's what I mean. Whenever I see you and if I have to define, almost like your mindset, in my mind, what I see from you is your word is your bond. Your commitment is there, and it's always going to be there. And if you committed to yourself, it seems like the commitment to yourself that you make is just as important as the commitment that you make to somebody else. And I think sometimes I see that's the weakness in a lot of people. And I would say that was true for me, where I treated myself worse than if I needed to do something for somebody else. I would work harder for Doug than I would for my own ambitions.
Right.
And you're quite the opposite of that. It seems like you committed to your work and you wouldn't give up until it was done, because you knew that's what you needed to do.
Right. Well, one of the things that I've always done, I told Mark this when he interviewed me when I was first, looking for this job. And I told him, I said, listen, this is the thing I do. I work for my family.
There you go.
Period. No matter what job I have, no matter if I'm making $5 an hour or $100 an hour, or whatever, I work for them. They are who I work for. And so the fact that I have the opportunity to work for such an amazing company like this, and it is so supportive, and it just makes it that much better, because I'm going to work really, really hard and do my best no matter who I work for, or if I freaking hate my boss.
What are you saying?
I'm saying I love you, dude. But no, seriously though, I have worked for some raunchy jobs and some raunchy people and some horrible jobs. So when I took this job, and I immediately could tell these people are amazing to work for, and they're super cool, really supportive. They really actually want me to succeed. I've actually worked for bosses where they're mad when you do better and you do really, really good, and they're like, because you did so much better than they ever did.
Those are the companies that promote all their people because their numbers were so high. And whoever gets the highest number gets to be promoted next, right? So
that's one thing we've learned actually is that, you know, the best salesperson isn't necessarily the best manager. Right?
No.
And they can be, you know, right? In certain situations, it depends on the person, but often that's not true.
That's correct.
You have to find somebody, it's a different skill set.
Yeah.
So,
and you know, motivating others to do what you do and to have them feel that same excitement. That is something I enjoyed. I do like to do that. And I love my team, and I love to be there for them. And they all know that they can call me anytime, and I'm there for them, and I will do whatever I can. And another person like that is Paul. Paul's amazing like that. I remember one time I was on a roof, and Paul calls me, and it was getting dark, and I knew I wasn't going to finish this roof in time because it was going to get dark. And I told Paul, I go, man, I'm not going to have time to get this done. And he's like, where are you? And I go, I'm in East Boise. And he was like in Nampa or somewhere. And he's like, I'll be there in 20 minutes. And Paul zipped down there and helped me finish inspecting that roof just in the nick of time. He's holding the light on the camera so I can finish.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. So that's the kind of team.
And what's interesting, where's Paul today?
He's an awesome manager.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's the culture.
I knew he was going to be an awesome manager the first week I met him. I told Mark that. I go, this guy's awesome. He's going to do great. He's going to be an incredible manager. Yeah. And I really loved working with Paul. Paul was a lot of fun. And he liked to work hard too. So people like that are fun to work with.
Adam, I asked about mindset, and what I heard in a lot of ways is that you make a commitment to your family more than anything, and then a commitment to yourself to do something that you're working for your family, and that you just go out every day knowing that you're going to work for your family. And I think that maybe part of the way you do that is by establishing habits that just you accept as like, this is what I do, and this is now a habit.
Yeah, even when you're sick, you seem to be going out because, I mean, I've seen people go home, you know, because their nose is just running a little bit. Like, I can't do this anymore today, you know. Like, hey, you just got a runny nose.
I think you're just looking for an excuse not to work.
Right, and it seems like that what Doug is saying too is like you seem to like build up a habit of hard work or whatever it is.
Yeah, and I it's funny because I'll tell I talk to myself in my head sometimes when I'm doing things, and I keep myself motivated. And like for example, there is a deal that I just finished, just closed, and I had a $5,000 commission on this deal. It's an awesome job. And when I was driving, I didn't have anything to be at the moment, and it was like, I don't know, 9 a.m, and I didn't have an install. I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't have a meeting or an adjuster meeting or anything. So I had some free time just to go look for roofs. And so I'm driving in, and this roof I'm like, it's in this big, beautiful neighborhood, these huge houses, and they all look like they had new, beautiful roofs, right? I'm doing 2 roofs out of that neighborhood, by the way. But anyway, so this roof had a weird shady, I'm like, had a weird shade thing on it. I didn't know what it was. It didn't look bad, but it had something, right? So I pulled back over, and I'm like, man, I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, don't waste your time. Go do something more productive. Go find a blown up roof. You're just being lazy right now, and you're going to go knock on a door and waste your time. Don't do that. Go do something more productive. So I'm telling myself that roof's not good enough. Go do something else because you need to, make the most of your time. And then I'm also telling myself, quit being such a pussy. Just go knock on the door. Get it over with. You stopped. You pulled over. Just do it. Right. And so I get out of the car and I get a phone call. I'm like, okay, I get back in my car. I'm handling whatever it was and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just about ready to okay, I'm just going to leave. And I immediately just like, nope, you pulled over, you big pussy, go knock on that door. Don't wuss out. Because then I did. And I went, and the lady was really sweet, this really sweet old lady. And she's like, you know what? It's funny because we just had a leak. Our roof's 20 years old and we just had our first leak last week. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Huh.
I'm like, wow, well, I can get up there. I'll give you a free roof inspection. We'll check it out. It looks pretty okay, but I mean, let me check it out for you. Okay. Boom. She goes, I go up there. That thing's blown up, man. There's missing tabs, crap everywhere, crunchy, just wrecked all over the place. You could not see that from the ground.
Wow.
And so I spent like 2 hours on that roof because I always like to be super thorough and find everything. I don't want there to be any discussion about not enough damage, right? And so there was plenty of damage. I didn't need to spend that much time, but I did. But I get down and I'm talking to her, and her daughter pulls up, and I'm like, so who's your insurance company? And we got talking about that, and she's like, oh, it's Travelers. I'm like, what? I go, awesome. I go, that roof, I never like to guarantee things, but that roof, we're going to get that bought for you. I go, I know the guy. His name's Kevin Booth. He's a great dude. You're made a wise choice picking Travelers. Nice job. Wise choice. I go, that's who I have because I know they're great. And she's like, oh, yeah. And then the daughter's there, and we full on do the thing. And I talking to her about her adjuster, Kevin, and all of this is going to go well. And we hang up after filing the claim, and bling, my phone rings. It's Kevin Booth right on there. We hit the speaker. We're all chatting it up and this and that. And he's like, we'll jump up on the roof. We'll do a hover examination, and bing, bang, boom. I had her approved on the spot.
Wow.
Nice.
That roof that I almost drove away.
Nice.
Right. And it is huge, big old commission, awesome roof. And then so meanwhile, I just lined up a job with her daughter too, to go check her roof out. And then while I was at her daughter's house, her daughter came over, and I lined up a job with her daughter.
Nice.
Just because I knocked on that one door.
Wow. You went three generations.
Bing,
all
bang,
three
boom,
generations got new roofs?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
well,
that's
no,
awesome.
They didn't all get new roofs. They all got inspected. The other two, which, in company we won't mention, that happened, and they got, whatever. So we tried though. Also, her neighbor just down the street, she told him about us, and I went over to his house. His house looked perfect, right? And he had 4 rentals. So I checked all of his rentals. All the rentals are wrecked. We're working on those.
Nice.
And his house didn't look bad at all. I'm like, hey, I can jump up there and check it for you. Just why not? It's 15, 16 years old. Boom, that's approved, and that's going on. That's just gotten moved into production.
That's funny.
And his roof will look good, okay from the ground too. So I'm going to go in that neighborhood and really check it, because those roofs look fine and they're not.
Yeah. Back when we started this business, it was, we didn't have all the stuff that we do use to track, like who's knocking on what doors and et cetera, et cetera. And it was just like, if you see it, you stop. And, and you're still doing that. And I think that's probably one of the keys to your success. And that's something that anybody could take away as a sales tip is when you see opportunity, take the opportunity.
That's right.
Stop making excuses about why you're not prepared enough. Because even a not prepared approach is better than no approach, right?
Yeah, just
at least it's an approach. And if you genuinely are helping somebody and you see an opportunity, take the approach, because what you think is not prepared is just you nerving out, because you've got the information. If this is what you're doing for a living, just go out there and take the shot, because if you don't take the shot, you're screwing up. That's one thing that most contractors. Yeah, that's one thing most contractors do is people will call and then they never show up to the appointment.
You're absolutely right. What's funny is that I remember one time we were driving around with Ashlyn. We were doing some door knocking, doing some training, and we were doing it for a while without success yet. We finally ended up getting a contract at the end of the day, but we pulled up to a house and the roof was damaged, and we looked at the house and it looked like nobody was home by appearance.
There's always people home.
And she goes, there's nobody home. I go, well, it looks like it, but
let's not
go hit
Let's
it.
knock anyway.
Yeah, I was like, go hit it. She's like, well, there's nobody there. It's a waste of time. I go, all right, well, let's do some math then, since you want to see if this is a waste of time. Obviously this is a calculation for you. So how much is the average commission in a job? Let's just say it's $1,000. Now we're going to calculate how long it's going to take you to go up there to that door to knock and walk back to this car if there's nobody there. Sure enough, there was nobody there.
Oh, okay. Well, I've done that a million times and there's been somebody there.
Well, there's nobody there, but she was back into the car like within 30 seconds. And I go, man, if you did have somebody there, you could have made $1,000. So let's do the math of what that would have actually cost you, and how many doors would you walk up to just to catch somebody being there?
Yeah,
right?
if only 1 out of 10 of them had somebody home, which often it's way more than that.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
To me, it's like a third of the time. If it doesn't look like there's anybody there, they're not there half or 2/3 of the time. But shoot, if it's 1 out of 3, a whole minute and a half into starting down that road of $1,000 commission. Dang.
Well, we did it. We even did a little exercise where we went out and we started counting how many opportunities we actually took before we succeeded. And then and even to the one that wasn't home, we counted that as an opportunity taken.
Sure.
Right? So we said, if we calculate how many opportunities you took until you were successful to where she got the inspection, she took 5 opportunities before she got the inspection and got the contract. 5. So including the people that weren't home, I said, do you see how every door knock today cost you $200?
Right.
So those 30 seconds is $200.
That's something you've been talking about for a while, is this stop talking about, like, how many, failures, or stop paying attention to that stuff. Just look at it and say, what is each door worth?
Right.
And knowing that you're going to get 1 out of 5 or whatever your number is, when you get good at it, it's more than that. Like, I was up to like around 90% closing rate if I was talking to a homeowner. But as far as doors go, it was probably 1 out of 3 doors that I knocked on, I was getting a deal.
Right.
By the time I was, decided I was done knocking, and I was really building the company. But the value of going up and knocking on a door, well, if I can identify 3 roofs, knock on the door, and if my average commission is $1,200, I'm making $400 every time I walk up to a door.
Yeah, that's
it's
where
just, I'm going to make it all on one instead of all.
That's where Adam almost talked himself out, right?
Right.
That's where Ashton almost talked herself out, was, well, it's not worth it for me because they think the failure was already there. It's like, well, of course it's worth it. You never know.
Yeah. If you walk away from a door that doesn't have anybody there, or it was a hard no, it's still a win because you're one step closer to your win.
Yeah, you took the shot, right?
Yeah.
You took the shot.
Take the shot. Certain number are going to win. Adam, just so everybody has some context, I'm going to just give a range. I would say that you probably made a couple $100,000 in the last year, close, plus or minus a little bit. You don't have to give me any details, but that's probably reasonably accurate.
Yeah. My goal was, since August, to make over 20 grand a month. And 1 month I missed it by $18.
Yeah, we're
Really
actually
upset.
actually told your manager to send you a retroactive bonus for that month.
Oh, okay.
Or
well,
$18.
maybe I missed
For
it.
$18.
The month before I made like 23, and then the month after I made like 24, so it was okay. If you have to average them, but still, I was like, oh, what did I do wrong there?
So having that work ethic. So let's talk about what an average week is like for you. How many hours do you think you work every week in order to make that kind of money?
I
know you work hard.
Yeah, I get out in the morning. I usually get up at 7, be out of the house by 7:30. Usually at an install by 8, and handling that. And for the longest time, my goal was, if I have an install, I got to get a new contract that day to make up for it.
Keep filling the pipe.
2, I had to get 2 new deals. 3, I had to get 3 new deals. And I did that for a long time, and then eventually I was just like, it didn't always work after a while. But for a long time, I was like, man, that's a good idea. It works, And then sometimes things don't work, but you just keep going anyway. So, but I just try to keep my pipeline full, and I just keep a bunch of people going, because there's deals that just turn into nothing, and there's deals that are, I had a deal last week and it's already approved into production.
Nice,
great.
It's just a fresh door. Just knocked on a fresh door.
Yeah. So
and her door, honestly enough, weird. It didn't even look bad.
yeah,
it's the same thing.
It's already approved.
Yeah, it's so strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like those.
What's when you're going out there and you're getting ready to make a pitch, or you're walking up to a door, or if you in a different business you were making a phone call, what's in your mind as you're getting ready to make that approach, or make that start that conversation with the customers? Like, what's going through your head?
This is going to work out great for them, and it's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to explain it to them.
There you go. There's that servant mentality that you were talking about earlier, right?
It's claiming the belief that this is going to happen, and if you believe it, then they're going to believe it.
Right, and I like when I'll drive down and I'm like, I can get that roof bought,
Yep.
You can just feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel it when you're driving by, and so of course I'm going to go knock on that door.
Yeah.
And so that's what I just think it's going to work. And this is the thing too. I don't get my feelings hurt. I'm not going to let somebody hurt my feelings, because that's silly.
Yeah.
I don't know who told me
So
this.
rejection is something that you just doesn't even know.
No, I was told a long time ago, if you bring your feelings to work, you're stupid. You're just doing, why do you do it? Why?
I feel like
Can't do that.
I think people rely on their feelings too much, where feelings are just affected by whatever they're thinking about. So if you just change your thought process or your thought pattern, you can change how you feel.
And it truly grosses me out when I've worked for people that they'll come to they'll be all upset or pouty or moody or, bad. I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Take your pouty ass home. That's ridiculous to me.
Yeah, why are you even working if your head's on the right space?
Act like a professional at least, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like to act like that, because it would feel embarrassing to do that.
Yeah. Hey, you're just a hard worker, though.
Well, I really love my job, and it's just fun, and I love people, and it's fun to talk to new people. And when you can make a good connection, it's great. And when somebody's a complete POS and they're just cuss you out and they're slamming the door, that makes me laugh so hard, because it's just, they're so stupid. You can't fix stupid.
You feel like, I think I know what you mean.
Wow.
Whenever I went up, you're so, you understand the opportunity that you're offering, how good it is for them, right? That when you leave, you're like, you are the one that's missing out. It's not me. That's why you're able to laugh at them.
And sometimes there's this one house in Caldwell, and I at least once a month I got to go bother this guy because he is such a douche. It's hilarious. He's like, as you're driving by, he just sits out front of his house. You can't even knock on his door. But he is funny. Yeah, and you put on the roof link, you're like, definitely interested in the future. Knock on that. just for fun, just to torture the guy a little bit.
Oh, man, yeah. Actually, my managers used to do that when I used to sell cars. The funny thing is, I actually sold the guy. So they were like, so we had this this office with the windows so you could see the parking lot.
Yeah.
And I was in my office like working on something. They're like, Roman, come to the front desk. You got a customer. And I'm like, what? You know, and I'm like, I've just been new to the game, right? Yeah. And they love just poking me and testing me. I haven't been selling long. They're like, hey, Roman, there's a customer back there for you. And I'm like, there is? You know?
Thank
and
you.
there's some guy. I was like, all right, let's go talk to him. And they're all watching in the windows. And I don't know. They've just sent out like 5 guys before me to talk to that same guy.
Shoot him up.
Right? And they're like, you're next, you know, and he's just blowing people out because he's just pissed. So I show up and he just starts downright just berating me and yelling at me. And because I'm just like, hey, how you doing? And I look back at the window and they're all like laughing, just holding their guts and everything. Just,
oh, yeah.
And I'm just going, well, you a-holes, you did this on purpose. And I just kind of sat there and I said, you know what? I'll take this challenge.
Yeah.
I'll take this challenge right now. And that guy just wanted to sit there and look at this van. He's like, I just want to look at this van in peace. I was like, okay. And I just kind of like hung out there for a little bit and kind of, you know, I don't remember what I was saying to him.
Then
but
he had a question.
I just had like small talk. Yeah, and then all of a sudden he just asked me a question. I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. And I would never talk about the van unless he asked me a question. And all of a sudden we just started just chatting a little bit. Before you know it, he's driving it. And before you know it, we're coming back and he's like, yeah, why don't you go ahead and put a deal together for me? I'm just like, okay. I walk him right into that dealership and they're all like, what the hell just happened with this guy? That was like the first time I built my reputation in there. That was the one. The other one was when you get the guy to crawl into the trunk and stuff. That was pretty good.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. No, I love doing that. I call it bringing somebody over from the dark side. That's what I call it. Yeah. That is so much fun. See, you got to have fun with your job too.
Yeah.
One of my goals every day is to have fun and to have a good time. Right. And I do legitimately, I have a good time. It's fun every day. And so there's sometimes, like, I remember knocking on this one door and this lady full on F-bombs me right out there. What the and I'm just like, I look behind me. I'm like,
it's your face.
Oh, you're talking to me? I'm like, holy cow, do you know me? I don't know. Whoa, what happened? I asked her that. I go, what happened? What happened to you? Why are you so angry? And she's like, you roofers and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, just listening to her for a minute. And I'm like, I go, you know what happened? I go, do you understand why this is happening? I go, your roof is totally jacked up. I go, do you see your roof? Have you looked at your roof? She's like, wow. I'm like, are you kidding me? I go, you got the bat signal on the top of your roof and it's going full blast 100 every single day of the year.
Yeah.
I go, do you actually expect roofers not to talk to you? I go, because that's why you're so angry, because you're doing this wrong.
Yeah.
I go, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you fix this problem. I'm going to put a yard sign in your yard and I'm going to inspect your roof. And then you can, whether you want to do anything or not, you can take that yard sign and keep it forever.
Man, you know what I want to know is like,
I gave her the yard sign. I go, you can have it forever.
I have a question. How many yard signs do you have?
I have
in
2.
Your car?
I have 2.
I mean, like, this is like your standard closing. You're like, Listen, your roof's messed up. I'm putting a yard sign in your yard right now.
I'm telling you.
And we're going to go ahead and go through
What's
this process.
This lady immediately just like, because all of a sudden, instead of me just trying to sell her something, I'm like, I got a solution to your problem. Your problem is you don't like people bugging you about your roof. So what we're going to do is this, and that's going to start. And I go, whether we do anything else, and I don't even do that, I'm going to give that sign to you. Merry Christmas.
Right.
It wasn't Christmas.
And you solved a problem for her. And now, and now she believed in you.
And I told her, I said, so
Build trust.
I asked her this too. I said, have you ever taken the time to actually listen to, do people just come try to sell you roofs, or have you had people try to help you with your insurance? I go, have you tried that before? No. I'm like, well, this is what I can do for you. I can jump up there. I can check your roof. If you have wind damage, which you do, I can help you file a claim. And guess what? I will manage that claim for you, because that's truly one of the biggest services we offer is we manage the heartburn and the headache of that process for you.
Right.
And I will do that all the way through until your roof is installed. And all you got to do is pay your deductible. I go, do you know what your deductible is? And I ask people that sometimes because they don't even know what the hell a deductible is, let alone how much it is, right? So I ask them, do you know what your deductible is? And people that know say, oh yeah, it's $1,000 or it's $500. People are like, no. And they don't even know what a deductible is. And I'll explain it to them. It's like, you go blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and they're like, oh, okay. So you're giving them some information. They're like, oh, and who's your insurance company and blah, 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 all that stuff. And I go, so I'm going to go do that for you right now. You don't have to do anything after that. And I go, by the way, if I can't get your roof paid for, you're obligated to nothing. I go, you got a free yard sign. That's it.
You love this job so very much.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're over here selling to the choir.
I love
People watching, you're like, Adam, I'll buy your roof.
Check this out.
I'll buy your roof, Adam.
I was so completely committed to doing that right then. It was a sketchy ladder pull. And I was really kind of new, and I didn't know you weren't supposed to do it by yourself. I put this on this little teeny awning, and it was like this. I stick my ladder up there, and I climb up to the second story, and I'm up there, and I inspect the roof. It's garbage, and I'm trying to get off. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're going to kill you. That is not okay.
Okay.
Super scared. And I got off the roof, right? Didn't kill myself. Turned in the pictures. The next morning, I get an email. Don't ever do that again. Because the picture showed the ladder. And I was So I got scolded. So I haven't done that since then. But anyway, I didn't realize it was a big rule. I knew it was a bad idea. After I'd already got up there, I'm like, nah, how am I getting down?
Leave it to the professionals.
Anyway, so signed her up, did it. And the funny thing is she got, remember that one dude, I won't mention names, I guess we can't do that, that his name kind of rhymes with yours, but
it's okay, go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, he had talked her out of the deal. He came in and just bagged on us and said talked her out of it. She dumped it. And I was going to get her a deal with it. Anyway, so about 7 months later, she calls me back. Adam, I'm so sorry I did that. Can you come help me? My roof is so much worse and all this. I'm like, I'll tell you what, if you promise not to quit me, I won't quit you. We'll stick this fight out and we'll get it done. I went back, re-inspected it, new storm date, and got her bought, and she has a new roof now.
Nice.
That's something. Awesome.
Yeah. I love going back to the ones that get denied and doing, like when you got a brand new awesome storm date and handling it over and getting it done. I love doing that.
Yeah, finding, you said you approach every day, like you're choosing to find some kind of happiness and fun in the day. You want to have fun every day. I think that's another key part of it is like, focusing on like the people that you helped and how you had fun in the process instead of the ones that you got rejection at, right? Yep. And that's just with any sales business and any business in general actually is find a way that you can enjoy the process. And then that makes a huge difference in your attitude when you're out ready to make a pitch and make something happen and talk to somebody. I want to talk to you about, have you set goals for this year?
I have basically the same type of goals that I had this last year, except for I want to do it better and more efficiently. And maybe, because I do, like you said, how much do I work? I usually am 7 to 7 every day.
Yeah, so you're a 60-hour-a-week guy.
Yeah, and so I would like to have a little more free time and accomplish more, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you
more
need to be more efficient.
So you can do more. Yeah.
Have more time,
make
have
more
fun.
And yet have more time also.
Yeah. No, that's good. Good. I think it's interesting because I think that your approach is a lot different than most people's. It's different than mine. Mine is, I try to set, pretty clear goals and like put up some type of reminder. Like I had a dream board in my office for a long time. And write my goals on my mirror at home, and and you're more about like just like I find a successful habit and I'm just going to go do that habit.
I hardly ever know what my numbers are.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's embarrassing. I'm like, I don't know.
But you're not spending a lot of time worrying about it either.
I don't worry about it.
That's what the one-on-ones are for.
Just getting out there and making
I never even worried about how much money I was really making until Mark told me, he was like, you get this one more thing. You can get a $1,000 bonus. I'm like, all right. So I went and did it and got it. And I'm like, dang. And he's like, you do 5 more and you can get $2,000 bonus. I'm like, well, hell, why am I not doing that every month? So I just started doing that, and it really made a difference. But I wasn't really worried about it, honestly. And I just know what I want to do every day. And the recipe,
stick with the process, right?
It works. And so I'm just keeping that up.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat.
So do you have any goals that you set, whether they're personal or professional?
Yeah, I want to pay my house off in 5 years.
Okay.
And I want to take good care of my family and just enjoy every day.
But you don't have like it's the house. It's not like the car or the boat or the travel.
You know what's interesting?
Not really.
It's almost like we're trying to figure out like what angle do you come from to get motivated, because everybody gets motivated a little bit differently and they have separate goals, and it's almost like if I was thinking about you, I come from the same direction. Like I don't have a goal to, get the car or whatever, get the house. I want a house, sure. It's like maybe that house. I don't know, one of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked the house that I'm in. It just happened.
But I do have a lifestyle that I do prefer.
Yeah.
And I will work to support that lifestyle, and I will not make less money than what supports that lifestyle. And I almost see you approaching your life in the same way. You're saying, no, I have a specific way I want to live.
Yeah.
I want to have specific things I want to do with my family. And those specific things have a dollar amount attached to them. And I will work this hard in order to
because I know that'll make it work.
Because that'll make work what I really want to do.
Well, and that's what I love about this job and this company and this opportunity is I know that if I work hard, I will make enough money to take care of everything I need to take care of.
Exactly.
And I'll be able to save money and I've been broke a lot of times, and I've made a lot of money a lot of times too. But it's not because I didn't work hard. It's because I was in the wrong place.
It's almost like your why is just a lot more stronger than, and that usually just takes you through the day. It's like whatever you're doing this for.
My wife keeps trying to talk me into buying a truck.
And why?
I don't care.
Your wife is your why then. See how it is?
Yeah.
Oh, Lorena.
I think that also something that I sense is that, you have a good sense of delayed gratification because you know that if you just put in the work that it will come, right? And that, you're not getting your gratification from the immediate thing. I mean, that is gratifying, but really it's the long-term, like I'm going to go out and put in the work. And if I know if I put in the work, that the results will come.
I agree. I heard that too throughout the entire conversation. It was always work first, results later. It seemed like every story you told, everything you said, you always had work first. I agree with you, Doug. That was a very good characteristic of what you were doing.
Yeah. I think that's a huge key for success for people in any business or any walk of life is understanding delayed gratification and really embracing that. That's one thing that I feel like I have a really good strength in, so that's one of my
extremely good. I would say you're probably one of the best ones I've ever seen at something like that. I mean, you will wait and wait and wait, and you'd be like, man, how'd you get that? How'd you get that deal? Or how did you get that? Like, I waited.
Yeah. Patience pays off, and not only in getting a deal on something, but in just how you live your life. Like, if I reinvest into the business instead of buying the house, then the business is going to grow that much faster. I think I said on a podcast yesterday is that the Bible says, build your business before you build your home.
Yeah.
And that's some real wisdom there. That's talking about delayed gratification right there. And, and you end up with twice the house and the cars and everything else if you just focus on building your business first. So.
Yeah. We have 2 weddings. My oldest son and my second daughter, they're getting married. My second daughter's getting married tomorrow. And, it's been a really nice because I haven't worried for 1 second how much it costs because my wife hasn't either.
That's nice.
That is truly the best feeling to me. So she's like, whatever, my daughter wants it. It's good.
Wow.
Oh, what a great feeling. Cause
I
think most families in America, that would really stress people out, right? Unless you're experiencing a high level of success. And you know that ultimately doesn't matter. What matters is the memories that you're creating and the relationships that you're creating right now. and you're able to make that happen because that's the lifestyle you want to live, and that's the work you put in.
Wow.
Well, and my son, he's getting married in May. He's trying to buy a house, and he just had, all of a sudden the surprise stuff you got to pay for at the end of the thing. And so I was able to just give him $5,000, and he's just like,
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
really good.
Adam, what do you, if you were to try to summarize what do you think are the keys for success in sales and maybe just in life?
Just be determined to do it every day, and just don't puss out. Commitment, forward motion all the time, because you're either going forward or backwards.
I like that. I mean, commit to your task. There's a point at which you have to commit to your task, to your craft, whatever it is that you need to work on. If you don't commit to it, you're never going to accomplish that at all. And that's very good wisdom. That's very good advice, because if you're not committed, at some point you will give that up. At some point it'll be too hard for you to carry the burden, and only commitment can take you through it.
Oh yeah, I have days, trust me, where I'm just like, you're just like, and you can't think, or you can't figure. You just move forward, knock on the door, and boom, you're on a roof, and you're happy. Everything's going okay.
I like that.
Just do it. Just move forward. You don't have to think brilliantly all day. You just have to do that every day.
Just do it.
Just do it.
That sounds like a good. That's
dumb. A pretty good slogan, maybe.
It'll never work.
That'll never work.
Yeah.
Just do what?
It.
Nobody
do
knows.
Something.
It.
We talk about failing forward, and that's just that 1% better all the time. That kind of rings true with that. And also another thing that I talk about is, like, if you're not growing, you're dying, and that's that commitment piece, right? It's like a commitment to continue to do and do and do and do way more than other people do. And if you keep doing, then eventually you live in a way that nobody else lives.
That's right.
Remember hearing that, Roman?
Oh yeah. You do what nobody else does, so I can live how nobody else does. Right.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but again, I did not have it like you. That was good.
I think they do what nobody else is willing to do, so you can live
like nobody else lives.
Yeah.
It's like telling a joke. You just can't.
I don't remember the jokes. I do remember speeches for some reason. Just not jokes.
What's a takeaway that you would want to tell anybody that's listening to this that you think would be like key point besides just do it? Anything else?
Go
Always
have fun. Make your day fun. If you're not having fun, you're gonna probably not do it very long.
Yeah.
Because it sucks. If it sucks, it's no good, right? So have fun.
Yeah.
Make it fun. Go out and have a good time when you talk to a jerk, or have a great time when you talk to somebody really cool. Just make it fun.
You know what's interesting? Like you're saying, it's like you have to make the decision to have a good time. One thing you say that, and one thing like struck right into my head. My wife and I, we went on the Mexico trip, and we hate traveling. I mean, like, I'm always getting like sick or something, and nothing's going our way, and it's a pain in the butt to sit on the plane seat for 5 hours. Everything's so miserable. And before we left, we talked about it. We're like, man, this is going to be terrible. We said, well, what if we didn't think like that? And we really talked about it. And we said, let's just decide that this travel is going to be part of our vacation. Meaning, as soon as we wake up, and we had to wake up really early to get to the airport, and that stinks too. Said, you know what? It doesn't matter. Our vacation starts because we decide it's going to be a good time. We decide we're going to have fun through the travel. We're going to find opportunities to make ourselves feel better and know that this is all good things.
How many drinks did you have on the plane?
I didn't have any. No, but it was a decision for us to decide to look at this from the positive point of view of not, this is a miserable, we're going to be in a plane. We said, we're going to Mexico. We get an opportunity to relax. This is going to be a nice time. Like, let's just think on all these positive things that's happening. Yeah. And naturally our minds started shifting towards the positivity, and naturally, but just like you said, you have to make that decision to say, I'm going to have a good day. I'm going to have a positive day. I'm going to have a positive experience today. Because there's all these outside forces that are coming in trying to make you think the other way. And that's why a lot of people feel defeated, whereas you are stronger than that, and you feed yourself positive information.
Yeah. Happiness is a decision, not a destination, right?
You're right. And I've taught my kids that, and I think that's what I was taught. And I taught my kids this from their babies. You have a choice to be miserable or be happy.
Right.
Because gravity's there every day, pulling on you. Things happen every day. every single day, but every single day you're blessed. And there's so many great things.
There's your
that
clothes
happen
right
every
there.
day.
Yeah.
You have your decision.
You have a decision to make. You can either be happy or miserable, period.
Yep.
And you know what else I learned? I learned that from doing hospice too, because I took care of people that were literally dying miserably, and they were horrible pain. I mean, the same stuff's coming out of all orifices, man. They were wrecked bad. And I'm doing my best to be positive and help them go out as positively as they can. That's what I'm there to do, is help die well, you know?
Yeah.
And that is a mindset you got to put in your head, because that's not easy. And I made a big difference for people, because that did change some people's attitudes, and it helped them because I was their strength in that moment. But they chose to look at the positive, and they're like, man, it could always get worse. And the next day it probably did, you know? And that's true. Everything can get worse. So you can choose to be happy, or you can choose to be miserable. And I don't like to be miserable. That sucks.
Well said.
Yeah.
So.
Roman, what about you? Any takeaways that you would say for somebody that wants to be a top performer out there in whatever sales position they're in the world?
You know, I like what Adam was talking about. I think if anybody wants to be successful, is one, you do have to commit to something. You have to commit to a vision, to a goal, something, whatever it is that's driving you. There has to be some kind of change you're trying to experience. I mean, and with my experience with my life, it was just a growth for me to be able to get far enough in business and make enough money to be able to support myself, you know, to be able to support my family, all those things I really wanted. And I wanted to be the provider. I wanted to be the guy that my family could lean on, my wife and 2 kids. So me committing to having all those things, what Adam talks about, I can really relate with you on that, because that's really what drives me all the time. It's having a specific lifestyle, is being able to provide security for my family. It's being able to provide, you know, education for the kids, and, you know, the things my wife needs as a woman, right? To be able to feel fulfilled, to be able to, you know, do the things she needs to do as a person, and not rely on herself to go out there and bring something in for the rest of the family. To me, that's really fulfilling. It keeps me going, and whenever I find a vehicle, and this business, this Bartlett Roofing is a vehicle to me, and to me, I say, this is the best thing that I could possibly see in my life for me to take to get to this destination that I'm trying to get to, which is my success with my family, my success in the business growth that I want. I said, this is the best vehicle, and I'm going to ride this vehicle, and I'm going to be excited to do it. And I made that. You make that decision, and then you make your attitude proper so you can go out there and actually succeed with it.
All right, well, guys, I got a couple things I'm going to wrap it up with for myself. I'm going to start with get really comfortable with delayed gratification, because you're going to be someplace in life where you're going to find that there's something that you need to change as a person that's inside yourself, that's going to require a lot of work, that's for you to even be ready for success. And so you need to put in the work in yourself with that delayed gratification, and then go out there and work with intention, you know, and just understand that the delayed gratification will happen, because that working with intention will refine you to a knife's edge over time, right? You'll get better and better if you just keep working at it, and you have that delayed gratification mindset of like, I'll get there when I get there. In the meantime, I'm going to put in the work to make sure that I do get there someday, however long that takes you, because we're all on a different path. And, you know, I had several notes here, but I think we really covered this really well, other than, you know, just to cap it off is just to say, you know, get good with delayed gratification, work with intention, and enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
So
well said.
Thanks. You, Adam, for being here. Thanks, Roman. Yeah. And Monsters, go out there and have a killer day.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you.